campaign so far is on track. The Mashashegu Akwemubia Air Coso Pepe Pemwa.
Obi, Nyamencha, the Akoba Yinan said the major things I see as far as the 2024 election is concerned.
Yes.
One, it has to do with we have a flag bearer,
yes.
We have a running mate, we have launched the campaign, we have launched the manifesto. The manifesto is supposed to NSA the other kind of social contract.
Social contract.
Yene Ghana for Timemufu Nina Babe enter. Now the H. John Dramani Mahama Ayani Nana say Ojitumu say one. Uni obi echo say uni obi ashabo. Na timeline say ni so. Sebio me catch what is here obi. Sebio meto car.
Yes.
No ma timeline in 10 years time me bana me catch obi kana ma promise no eninia. Uni crack. But empempenso aye do no. Etwa say o shebo now the timelines are so. Into the H. John Dramani Mahama aye to ensure accountability. And then they say share a bosheni bia or say within 100 days may say
may fulfill way.
Within 120 days may we, within 90 days may we. That is just to ensure say obey one accountable to the people. Now obine can ask them what cannot be measured, then better not promise. Because it's the ability to measure no in the Buaman for a tracky a Juma wire day. Why? Inti IS performance indicators. The will be ano. What the KPI at the total. Inti we waka say within 100 days may abolish e-levy. May yet. Inti Enko Bane say after 100 days after no about better one answer so much all. So okay within 100 days may set it up and I say may make sure say the 10% betting we know may free. That is what it is. And you know the yeah no say you make sure say at the end of the day no there are strict timelines on key promises are and that is how we are going to run the campaign.
But some of those promises now outside the control of the executive. In the emphasis, we abolish betting tax because a tax into parliament and a pass it has to go back to parliament for that to be done. No?
You see, I always say, sir, in the superior wisdom of the framers of the Constitution 1992, Omo anticipates a lawmaking can be done in two ways. A bit me go through the normal consideration, first, second reading, and others. In the SIO, the friend is certificate of urgency.
Of urgency, sure.
So it depends on what you want to do. If the thing matters to you and you want to do it now and then, you can go through by way of certificate of urgency.
And get it
It's
done.
always been the willingness to do it. And H. John Dramani Mahama also look, these are promises that are so dear to me. It is the promises on which I have gotten the mandate of the people. And for that matter, I need to treat it with utmost urgency.
And almost has strict timelines, meaning the anticipation is the NDC would also form the next majority in parliament.
We are
easy to do.
Obi, I have no doubt at all that even per the 2020 election result, we were beyond getting the majority. I am aware of a few things that happened. It's gone. But again, under the able leadership of our director election, Dr. Omane Bwama, ably assisted by my good friend Yaira, Tanko Computer, and my brother, what the name? I'll just.
The deputies are two,
no, there are three.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Now, Oshe sa enkrofo we are yenemu eye jumana. Thankfully, omo de omo eyes are to nyoma mienu miensa biso, and it is working well. I am not permitted to make certain, disclosures. But I can confidently tell you, so we'll do very well in Parliament. We will do very, very well where I sit and where I see. And look, this election for us, Obi, I tell you, it is like Ghana's second independence. Yeah, that is how we are seeing
mindset. Election.
Yes. It's like Ghana's second independence. I strongly believe that the first person that we had to contend with, the likes of the people who fought the Christianborg Council and others, they contended with the British colonialists. We have a different set of colonialists, and they have ravished the country. They have plundered the country, its resources, among other things. And so we have gotten to the point where, Obi, there is only one thing that Ghanaians are expecting now. And that expectation is that we should reset this country. This country had gotten to the point where it requires a reset. And I use this classic example. After Second World War, the United States of America had a Secretary of State called Marshall. After Second World War, the U.S. had to quickly come out with the economic recovery plan, which is popularly called the Marshall Plan. The essence was that, look, Europe and America needed capital injection of about $13 billion. By 1943, in the space of 7 years, Europe was on the verge of recovery. That is the state where Ghana had got into. And Obi, if you permit me just 5 minutes, let me just show you something. You have a situation where Obi, you do empempenswa a baby tieniyo ako Eurobond market. Just Eurobond market. From 2017, almost 2.25 billion Franklin Templeton bonds. 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. Within this year, just barely 4 years, 5 years, $11 billion of Eurobond. A baby and ye bida. Obi, na se ohwe sika aba aban ho, and I have challenged leading members of the NPP. Can you account for $1, every single dollar of the 11 billion euro bond? They can't do it.
Why can't they? When this bond went through Parliament and every such document called Parliament, no? Okay.
That's not what happened here.
Okay.
I want to say this on record. The worst Parliament we've gotten was the Parliament presided over by Michael Quay.
That should be the 7th Parliament.
The Parliament presided over Michael Quay is the worst Parliament we have gotten. No accountability. That Parliament, Parliament, cause the current economic problem. They just gave Akufo-Addo a blank check, and he abused it. Look, Obi, I feel so sad. I don't want to say these things because it gets to me. Because you see, you advise people, go and buy government bonds. Because I buy bonds there from traditional and classical economics. Some metro say government security there is safe. What to nipa for? What to businessmen and crowd for? So I buy bonds there, is safe and secured. Into koto. No, I'm sorry. One morning, I buy a few clients saying, "Yeah, you beat me to ya. Yenye way." The pain in the hearts of people. Now, Obi Yahu, when retired Supreme Court judge, Chief Justice of our court demonstration.
Picketing.
Or say a demo. Say picketing, walking, a demonstration.
A form of demonstration.
Constitution. The right to demonstrate. Whatever form it takes. But for the first time in the history of this country, listen carefully. A Chief Justice will retire on her salary. A Chief Justice onyashi the OPBA onya. But for her, out of conviction, courage, say obeko kwan so ako Piketty is the lowest we have seen. And listen, Obi, Mati Yamame Sofa Akufo, or say the domestic debt program it was worse than military intervention. Because you see, Obi Ejuma as lawyers, Sebio lawyer ni nko Sebio pension.
Yeah.
Usika o nyano. O they talk treasury bills. what they toss
investment
instruments or rental income.
Sure.
With a view, say you, Sasabro started Echewa, BP, and not diabetes, ubet me follow on it. Do you know how much people lost in the DDEB? Have you asked yourself? 61 billion Ghana cedis.
In total.
61. No government since Nkrumah's time has ever committed this atrocity on Ghanaians before. Being seen that. Obi why? Boni be na Ghana why? 61 billion Ghana cedis. Let anybody challenge me. That's how much people lost by way of interest payment and principal. Boni be no my. Wo ya ban tieni you. Ye tua to ma. Ye bibia ma. Wo dia ne say obey prudent. No atwe sika no so ama. Wanya 11 billion in euro bond. What the Franklin Templeton bond they come out, that's $13 billion. Do you know $13 billion? Yeah, bobo, sir. A bit me fear from here to Tamale. When you say then you say you are broke one morning. How did it happen?
Yeah, but they've explained how it happened. The explanation doesn't make sense to you, and now say what about government has told you challenge I will go through when this twin disaster hit or mine. They've told you when teachers were not even working, they were still being paid, no government worker was sacked. Nino took money to do those things. No?
Obi, maybe. Sebio, my first degree me economics.
Yes.
Intimate nkuntambu hu kakra. Sebi mo biambe. You see, I don't like it when people insult the intelligence of Ghanaians. First of all, what's a COVID ebae ana abai the budget kwa uwo expenditure side
and a revenue side. Yes.
Embre PH mean balance your budget into the yeah and say ebi abebo bosia kakra the account so that we can balance the budget. Into the be finance a deficit no. Either say you back to borrow additional money and now say treasury bills and your money no. Okay. And I will say COVID-19. Say you COVID ever afibenya
2020.
And yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So outside the budget I was prepared in 2019. No. Okay, yeah. 2020 budget about November 2019.
Sure.
Okay. It was projected or revenue. The obenya. Okay. At the end of the day, Sebi, aside everything, revenue in 2020 was more than the revenue you got in 2019.
Yeah, based on the projections.
Absolutely. No, and yet beyond actual revenue,
okay,
exceeded what you obtained when there was no COVID.
Okay.
Second, when you have special drawing rights, the opportunity to go for special drawing rights, that's $1 billion.
Yes.
What's on your rapid credit facility? Another $1 billion. That's $2 billion. But for Unya Sasikano, a gain to you, a money to you. And
yes,
good. In a World Bank, it's amount 600 million, and so count. So that's already $2.6 billion. Korea amount $85 million. Germany so amount almost $60 to $65 million. So in all, Sika Wanyano is almost 21 billion Ghana cedis.
Yes.
Okay. Ubaye also why you studies and that COVID had brought revenue shortfall of 14 billion.
Yes.
And yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. But COVID gave you 21 billion. Outside our planning. It you 14 billion no shortfall no cry efi 21 no more. COVID became a blessing to you. It's a net gain. It's a net gain. Basic. Because you see, you know the problem. The reckless 2020 election spending. It we share the data now. From 1992, the highest deficit recorded was 15%, 2020.
In an election year.
In an election year. Because remember, I said, Aside the 21 billion, no, Bank of Ghana somehow 10 billion account. And now Refi.
I remember.
So Usha, if the revenue loss was 14 billion Ghana cedis, if you net it against how much money came into your hands, it was a gain. But look, Emma, July 1st, 2022.
But would the revenue loss not be different from government expenditure to fight COVID, everything that came out of COVID? Because there was an expenditure to fighting COVID.
Relax.
Okay.
Who's runner?
That be means so.
First of all, you went to Parliament.
Yes.
And told Parliament that this is a pandemic. Who be that?
Okay.
Into one fund in some court stabilization fund. No, you $200 million from the stabilization. And don't carry American way now. At the exchange rate of 6 cedis, it gave you 1.2 billion from the stabilization fund. We use it 200 million for payment of health workers, and
yes,
54 million Ghana cedis for free food, free water, hot meals, and 600 million to support businesses in a free electricity. Add up 1.2 billion. That money was from the stabilization fund. COVID is what gave you access to that money.
Yes.
So what are you talking about?
But
so even your COVID expenditure, the extraordinary COVID expenditure, are the things I've listed?
No. When Obi a contracted Yariana, from time I'll be contracted to time I'll be told. Hospital I'll be called in Ra, I'll be known. Testing I be your new
relax. Testing them with the airport, the Nana.
Dabi, and your airport.
It's a buying testing we now know ye no. What's a buying take him? When Auditor General reports on COVID-19, when would that?
Yes.
Why?
Mashepa.
Where so?
Mashepa.
Okay. What kinds of reports now? A chairman will say, 500 million Ghana cedis of that COVID money,
yes,
was spent outside GIPMIS. GIPMIS, why there? Minister of Finance.
Sure.
Under the Public Financial Management Act. Why do you think a finance minister will spend 500 million out of GIPMIS? Because the GIPMIS mechanism is for accountability. Echo. Sebio, the special audit on COVID-19 was not done by Domelebo.
Sure.
Just for the record. It was done by the Auditor General Nanado Ankasa appointee Johnson. I think his name is Johnson. The work should say 500 million Ghana cedis of COVID funds were spent outside GIPMIS. Now, do you know the shocking part? Over 11 billion of COVID money, government calls it budgetary support. They don't tell you what it was used for. Abuabe didn't budgetary support. Obi. What practicing journalism we are checking? Obana Babe Chairman, Sebio, or run a program where no producer. Also, to organize this show, I friend of Ecosi saying every day you have a budget of 2,000. That budget, no, you had 1,000 to internet because we want to do live streaming. Edudzi no Crawford bar, you be a brother Joe, Eddie Amomo, and then Katia, and then you, and also 500 cities. It be a transport 2,000. Meaning I send crown your friend Dominic. You see, at the end of the day, who be sound? They said Dominic. Sa 2,000. Who you see here? Then obey me. I can say, oh, Obi, me the 1,000. Eddie way, me the way. Now, Akufo-Addo, first of all, the government resisted doing the audit on COVID. Then July 1st, we announced going to the IMF. The IMF made it a precondition. Say, see who they use COVID sikano at the year. And no crown a man are buying a penny so my year COVID and yes, are buying a pet because it became a condition for the IMF program. In our career, wow, Auditor General in the debate to just say over 11 billion Ghana cedis of COVID money. You be so the year there also we use it for budgetary support. What does it mean? Yeah,
but even in the...
Was it for consumption?
Even in the Public Financial Management Act, you know, say even with oil revenue, there is a portion ABFA. It just goes to support the budget, and under that omnibus name of budgetary support. So why are you surprised? Say we they also almost state here the crop pot when it comes to budgetary support.
Extraordinary. Remember, so already you had prepared your budget already.
Yes.
What prepare budget the year before?
Yes.
Now the winning crash will be a friend no COVID
beba.
It sika win here for your road unim. Sika win here for hospital project unim ana. Or they didn't anticipate.
They did.
Absolutely. And I will buy now. So COVID they are into 1 year a revenue shortfall of 14 billion. But at the same time, now 1 year sika a year over 1 billion. Bank of Ghana crash amount 10 billion the account. Say sika na. Ye bisa so sika what the year then? Because as for the 1.2 billion now. Onya from the 200 million from stabilization fund no obianim
the other koye
who use 54 also they told Edudzi 21 days lockdown Accra Tema and Greater Kumasi who use 54 at the my hot meals who the enka say no cre and now wa so tio 600 million who they boa small businesses and now say another 2 something million who they boa a hospital and nurses for premium health insurance and any free water, free electricity. And why is that when you against the 21 billion an hour? Remember, say that $200 million dollars is separate from Sasikaya account. And if the stabilization fund under the Petroleum Revenue Management Act. And why is that way now? And we are back to square one. Do you know where the problem is? Obi. You see, a man Mahama Befia Bemu, and go back to the data. There are 3 major budget line items in the budget. 1, salaries and emolument. 2, interest payment and amortization. And a statutory payment.
Yes.
Osha, now because we took over, President Kufuor announced by January 2009 the implementation of single spine. Prosamio said by on organized labor a year negotiation, so obey defer for 1 year.
Yes.
2010 and was started the implementation. It brought about spillover expenditure. In Joshua, for the first time, number 1 budget line item became
salaries and emolument.
From 2017, the reverse. It became interest payment and amortization. That was where the money was going. Now you know the painful part. Part. At the time when you were accumulating debt, your finance minister was benefiting.
His company?
Yes. He's the beneficial owner. And now, why your company law?
Me your company law.
Who name beneficial owner?
Meaning beneficial owner.
When shares at the end of the day, dividends and others come. When honor
shareholder.
Ken or a shareholder?
Obviously.
It is our difference, no difference.
Oh, no, we different. Yes. But now, my next question based on the what can you say? Is this what grounded my promise mobile oral in the operation retrieve all loot? If I'm right with the way now. Is that the grounds for our promise? No?
Obi, I would illustrate something for you briefly. Say yedi $6 million. Akuma Obronibi. Say the architectural drawing for the National Cathedral. No? Yenye biblical restaurant attached to it.
Yes.
Into no all advising on doing the biblical restaurant to the cathedral.
Biblical Bible museum.
Sir. Restaurant can who?
And your biblical restaurant in a normal cafe now, okay? The Bible museum.
Bible museum.
Sure.
A can biblical restaurant. If your baby Jesus Christ have it the Last Supper. What I say? Near amount $6 million. Sika no the other. Obi. $6 million today, the city is trading at 16.6. $6 million. Do you know what they can do? So you say we should leave that money for the white man? No, I'm asking you. Tell me. When I was said, Tio, over the build sky trade, and I work with you almost $2 million. Sikan why?
$2 million to do what?
I don't know. Me no can say $2 million. I want crowd now. Omo promise here sky train. Omo fa sky train ye hu ye. Ye $2 million and so I come ho.
Yeah, the $2 million was paid for a specific job which they've
the
done.
Time will come for you to explain.
Okay.
Anna.
Okay, that's fair.
That's fair. 2. Ye wo memu ha. And I also kwa list your gold and mineral royalties through a vehicle called first so starting with Asase, then you change it to a Japan royalties.
Sure.
Yet 1 hour by say, expenditure on that program is $14 million. 16 Ghana cedis times $14 million. Say, Obi, says kana wahi.
Expenditure in what? Consultancy?
I don't know.
But if it's consultancy, for example, and as a practicing lawyer, if your law firm is consulted to do a particular job,
so
that's why you say Jumana, you would be paid. When you are paid, say eventual thing now happen now. Why should you accept any blame?
I said, oh man, I need to know the law causing financial law.
Sure.
And
sure.
So about what said that you can anticipate a particular thing happening. What pump $14 million of taxpayers' money? We never got it. Why did Ibrahim Adamson go to prison? Quality grade.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Say Ghana equality before the law.
Sure.
It's as simple as that.
Come and answer.
Just come and answer.
Okay.
Provide the justification for the use of the $14 million. So you come and you say, I paid Gabby's law firm this amount of money
for this work done.
Yeah, share invoices. Yeah, we. Question: at what time was the expenditure done? Because remember, so right from the beginning, Parliament started raising issues. 2, you've read the Attorney General legal opinion on a Japan. So were those expenditures done when the Attorney General had given a clear indication? So the terms were onerous against the Republic. So if you did that, obviously that would be reckless. So a time is coming, and the platform to retrieve is like asset recovery. Investigations will be done, and where we have to recover, recoveries will be done. I think you should support
through the due process of law.
If you look at John Dramani Mahama,
yes,
and the politics away from, I mean, when he became public from 97 till now, he has always been a friend of due process.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's not going to be some kangaroo kind of thing. No, due process. What does the laws of this country require to be done in those circumstances?
Yes.
That will be done.
Because I made that point because maybe how the narrative around oral is going, and maybe that party supporter what to say, oh yes, disca ebe go through due process. No, the court will find nothing wrong was done, and those people will be freed. Now I'm sure there will be some anticlimax for some supporters of the NDC.
No.
That's why I think that there should be some moderation in how you.
There is no issue of moderation.
Okay.
The law does not. All the law requires is due process.
Due process, sure.
There's nothing like moderation when it comes to the rule of law. Have you taken the person through what is required by law? If you have, period. And I can assure you that John Dramani Mahama
or the due process by
due process at the end of the day. That's what is bringing on board. But I can assure you that as for the recovery of anything looted, I mean, look, while Uncle Manasseh, he used to be with you. Where is the justification for spending over $1 billion Ghana cedis on SML? Obi, 1 billion. Now, by government is.
But they will show you work done, and if they show that work done, Why you think they don't have any?
No, the panel has the opportunity to show you now. On it's not no show. Have you read the KPMG report?
I have.
It's over 300 pages. You should take time and read. It's the most terrible piece of thievery ever done to Ghana. And I have my own personal differences with my brother Manasseh. I say he's my brother because we have a common connection, Kratchi.
Okay.
Yes. So when we meet, we speak the Kratchi language. Look, we have our differences. But I want to salute him on the SML investigation. Because you see, if they had extended it into the gold mineral way, and almost extending into petroleum, do you know that they were going to make $36 million annually?